every kid has to be a decision. It can't be like an oops. And we have the technology to make that reality. Resource-based economy. Let's just talk about how a shift to the resource-based economy could happen, because it's going to have to be a shift, not going to be something that arises out of the ashes of war, because this is all based on education, knowledge, intelligence, facts, these types of things, none of which arise out of the ashes of war. So we're gonna just have to switch over peacefully, because this is such a better idea than what we do now. I mean, people go, oh man, the third world can't have everything. Yes, the third world can have everything when we stop A, blowing it up, and B, stop product obsolescence and this disposable society. Okay? These things are what's holding back the planet as a whole. Oh, also, like this uncontrolled, unregulated childbirth, yeah, people need to have kids, but some people shouldn't have kids. Some people just simply shouldn't have kids because genetic reasons, right? Other people should have lots of kids because genetic reasons. Some people shouldn't breed with other people. I hear stories like, oh, this couple just couldn't have a kid, so they got like this other person involved, and it's like, that was Mother Nature telling those people that they do not need to breed. We do not need to stand in the face of Mother Nature. We need to be with Mother Nature and science, like this, like gloves on a hand, working together. All of us are a product of Mother Nature, going back as far as like it's a natural thing for people to be born. Let's just say that it's natural. We're not having this total discussion about anything beyond the fact that it's a natural thing for people to be born. Okay, so, and then we go, okay, test, genetic testing, okay, your genetics are this, okay, potential mate, your genetics are that. And there's no reason why this stuff couldn't be all just like the whole society, worldwide society, pretty much run, in my opinion, on these things. Like, these things are all we need. We don't need governments. We just need AI and that. Now, this is obviously, I'm just touching on these things a little bit, but right now I'm talking about the childbirth aspect of this. Because I don't believe we can just take care of every single person, and every single person decides to just have a kid. And a lot of times kids aren't really decided, and that has to stop. Every kid has to be a decision. It can't be like an oops. And we have the technology to make that reality, So once that is the way things are, this changes the whole dynamic of society. We have all these people who spend all this time in society dealing with people that probably should have never been born, through either they're just, like criminally insane, or they're just retarded to the fact where they can't even take care of themselves, or they have just so many problems, or so this is a stress on society. Uncontrolled breeding, to the same level as war, to the same level as product obsolescence. These are the big things we need to address in society to really get to that next level, where we don't need locks on our doors. We don't need security guards. We don't need rulers. Okay? That's the next level of human evolution, is we just do what we're supposed to do because it's freaking awesome that way. And what are we supposed to do? Basically this. There is a list. This will be a little more exhaustive at some point. This is just the basic overall explanation, and then we'll hammer down on details, maybe with whiteboards and such. In a resource-based economy, nobody's working for pointless BS, okay? Nobody. Just isn't the way we go. So, everybody's lives who's pointless BS, that means everybody on Wall Street, all lawyers, everybody that has a job in the criminal justice system, anyone whose job is in marketing, advertising, sales, okay? All those types of jobs are not jobs anymore, okay? So, without going into it, you know, these by no means exhaustive lists. The jobs that we have, is important or not, they're just the jobs that we have in a resource-based economy are teachers, farmers, scientists, doctors, nurses, astronauts, the construction trades, dentists, okay? These types of things. Those, we don't have cops. We don't have servers at a restaurant. We don't have people who clean people's toenails. Who cleans people's toenails? Well, if you would like your toenails cleaned, you find a friend and you offer them to clean their toenails in return for cleaning your toenails. This is how a resource-based economy works, right? We don't have slaves being smuggled into countries and kept in dormitories and, you know, beaten and all this to clean toes, right? We just don't do that. We don't have sex slaves, we don't have slaves, all that stuff. So if that's all what your kind of stuff that you like, well, that's sad. So as we would shift from this current system that we have to a resource-based economy, what I would say is, we will just post a list of jobs. Everybody will know these lists of jobs. If you have one of those jobs, you just keep doing that job. That's critical jobs, right? Now, all the other people, you have a friend that does one of those jobs, you go hook up with that friend and learn that job, okay? Now what this is going to do is this is going to let us all work about a few, just an increasingly less and less and less amount of labor for everyone. Labor being something that you're doing that you wouldn't really want to do if you had your druthers, right? So right now, 40-hour work week, which is bullshit. I work 80 hours a week for so many years being self-employed. It's not even funny. So increasingly people would have to work less and less as more people learned the critical jobs and was able, so, you know, like you go from, you know, working 5 days a week, you know, then all of a sudden, you know, you train somebody, now you're working 2.5 days a week, you know, and then they train somebody, you train somebody, now you're working this. You know, it gets down to where people don't have to work, but, you know, a couple hours a week or whatever. Okay, they don't have to work. They don't have to do the things, the main things we need done to make the society progress forward, okay? The food needs to, the buildings, everything needs to be taken care of. All this stuff needs to be handled. Okay, so now what do people do in their free time? Well, they do what they like. They do all those pointless things that normally somebody would do for a living, like do your own laundry, wash your own dishes, cook your own meals, vacation. Get involved in a project with other people. For instance, these people all do this job. And if we had a robot that did that job, then all those people could not have to do that job anymore. See, this all of a sudden becomes a good thing. People not having to work in a resource-based economy. Robots are a good thing. Okay, another thing that's a good thing is AI. And let me explain something in my opinion about AI, okay? AI, if we were to develop it and turn it loose on the world in a capitalist society, yes, it would fucking kill us. No question about it. Have you seen us? Have you noticed the shit we pull? The fucking wars, the sick yeah. AI would just, okay, no question. Now, AI in a resource-based economy, no problem. We're not doing war no more. There isn't like prisons filled with people watching them. Like, we've worked through all that shit. Now the AI is our friend, because what the AI sees is a fucking nightmare that obviously needs to be eliminated. Okay, so again, you're on your phone. You have your phone in society, and your phone directs you to what needs to be done in relation to your skill set. There is no boss. Everybody does an excellent job because it's just the way we are. People don't try to cut corners because they're fucking getting paid labor wages and they're not eating good and they haven't slept enough and they pull all this shit. Yeah, guess what? We're beyond that, right? People are just okay. They're mentally stable all the time because they're eating healthy, they're sleeping right, because there's not a dog eat dog, everybody against everybody go mentality. It just doesn't exist in a resource-based economy. AI, robots, all about that stuff. That's what truly will set the human race free from the dregs of frickin' labor. I mean, in India, they have a caste society that you're never supposed to be able to get out of. And if you're born into a caste where your job is cleaning the fucking shit out of the gutters, guess what? You got no fucking chance of upward mobility. Talk about a glass ceiling, okay? So, this is all horrible, right? Well, society overbreeds inferior humans to take care of all of these up jobs. Okay, so I do not condone the killing of anybody to get anything accomplished, okay? There is no reason. The only thing in a resource-based economy is you can't breed out of control. That's pretty much it. You give up very little. Uncontrolled breeding for everything, pretty much. Now, people will say, oh, when you give people everything, they become lazy and all this. That's when you have a capitalist society and you have rich people that are raising little rich jackasses, and they have more than everybody else and they feel privileged. Okay, yeah, horrible. That's a horrible thing, and I agree. Those people are fucking worthless people, and inbred a lot of the times too. So their genetics aren't necessarily going to be allowed to be passed on. I mean, some of these rich old money families have been hoarding their money for hundreds of years by inbreeding. Yeah, so you can only imagine their genetics aren't going to be that great for passing on to have really great humans. Okay, now it's not like we're gonna go kill all those people. No, you don't kill anybody. You just say, don't breed without a license. And we're not gonna get into, well, what if they do? Well, you know what, we're not even gonna get into that, because everybody has just got to understand that moving forwards, I mean, it's not like your bloodline, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they trace back bloodlines, and like half the planet's related Genghis Khan or some shit. Maybe not that drastic, but the point being is there was only so many bloodlines when we started. So the fact that we were able to get so many bloodlines, well, let's focus on some good bloodlines without genetic problems. And those aren't like the pure blah, blah, blah. No. Mostly you see people genetically stable that have gone outside of their subset of race to breed within, right? So, you know, and again, there is no absolutes, but when you start doing genetic testing on everybody and making sure that there's quality genetics being passed into the children, then all the other problems just kind of wither away. Schools are started way too early. Science says that waking kids up and having them go to school early is totally a bad idea. Okay, so why can't we just change that and make healthier kids and better kids across the board? Yeah, why? Well, because that's not the way this capitalist society operates. We pretty much change very, very slowly for the better and very rapidly to the worse. Overall, human society has been getting better and more stable and healthier and all this over the ages, but we're reaching a tipping point right now where it's been so long, where so little natural selection. And then here's another horrible concept. War, again, is such a horrible concept. You go into war with the best and the brightest. Oops, they get killed. Well, who's back in the mother, father, home, land breeding? The best and the brightest? No. They're in the field fighting each other. It's called the theory of the sneaky breeder, I think, is what that theory is called. But yeah, it's pretty obvious if you just think about it.